Good evening. This is your girl, Lynette. Excuse me. D.A.L.S. Credit Solutions, Tuesday, August the 11th, 2020, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Credit Tip Tuesday, guys. Just want to see how everybody's doing, how everybody's making out for the week. I'm here in Pennsylvania. It's hot as a angry person's attitude. That's the nicest I can put it. This little piece is like sticking up. It's so damn rude. It's time to get your hair done. There you go. Still sticking up? Yeah, part yes. Yeah, it really is. I'm so goofy. Hey guys, it is your girl Lynette. My little track was sticking up here. Credit Tip Tuesday, guys. Welcome, welcome aboard. We are here live, Central Pennsylvania. Make sure you guys like and share the comments. Let me know where y'all are tuning in from. Ooh. Let me see. Hi, everyone. It's been a hot week. A very, very hot week. Where you guys coming in, tuning in from? It's Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Let's see. I'm on live. Today's topic is from Detroit. Oh my God. Hi. Oh my God. Bless you. Detroit is in the building. Wow, this is beautiful. This your first time tuning in? Everybody let me know where y'all tuning in from. Make sure you guys like and share. Today's topic is, should you purchase a do-it-yourself letters? Credit Tip Tuesday, your girl Lynette live from D.A.L.S. Credit Solutions. Make sure you like and share. So important. Let's see, I'm trying to put it on my page. It never works. It's not your first time. Oh, God bless you. Oh, wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see if I can. Everybody's tuning in. Baltimore. We got Baltimore, Detroit. Wow. This is beautiful, guys. This is love right here. Credit Tip Tuesday. Oh, Miss Rose recommended me. Tika, I love her. It's my baby. Tika, everybody like, share the post. We're going to get started in a few minutes. It's Credit Tip Tuesday, your girl Lynette. It is very hot up here in Pennsylvania. Extremely hot. So hot. I don't think nobody of no weight class should be outside today. And I mean nobody. It's very hot. Very hot. The topic today is, should you purchase a do-it-yourself letter templates? Come on in, come on in. So, how's everybody doing today? Everybody relaxing, you know? I love y'all too, man. Relaxing, chilling. What are y'all doing today? All right, while everybody's coming in, logging in, I'm gonna get started. Today we want to talk about, should you purchase a do-it-yourself letter, templates or letters, or anything of that nature. A lot of people, when you begin the credit restoration process, there's different areas that you can dispute or different ways you can dispute. But when it comes to do-it-yourself letters, when people sell them for a certain price, you have to ask yourself the one main question: does this letter pertain to you? Can this letter be beneficial to you? Even though you can change the format of the letter, you have to understand that credit bureaus, different people, you know, they get these letters off the internet. They get these letters from different, you know, different resources. And, you know, when you send them off to the credit bureaus, they, you know, they put them through the machine and, you know, it comes back either verified, update, or deleted. A lot of times people get verified. A lot of people get updated. Some even get deleted. But you have to ask yourself, does these letters really tailor to your situation? When you purchase DIY letters, you know, from individuals, you have to look at the overall format. Does it sound like something you heard before? Is there something that everyone else is using? Is it something that, you know, can pertain to, that will benefit you? So I tell people when they want to do DIY letters, you know, the best way to get items actively in the dispute status and get really good results is make sure you talk about what really happened. If you hire someone that does credit restoration and they tell you, hey, I can remove all these items, but they don't know what happened and why you were late, are they really going to benefit you? The process is, we know why, we know what happened, your score was compromised or whatever, how it happened and why it happened. The more evidence you put on the why, if you're saying, for instance, you have a late payment on a credit card, you wasn't feeling well, you were out of work, or you had some type of issue and you couldn't, you know, satisfy that payment during that time, make sure you have enough evidence to support what you are saying. When you have DIY letters and you're just filling in the blanks, it's really not going to benefit you. Do it yourself means doing it yourself. You have to also ask, is the person that sold it to you, did they do it themselves? You know, letter writing, when it comes to restoration and removal, should be as tailored to you as possible. The format, how you write, the way you write, the situation, attach documents to support what happened to you, and then send it in to the creditors. You know, so when you do, you know, when your letters are more customized by you, and you don't have to be the best writer, you know, write the letter and say, hey, I was late due to X, Y, and Z. I understand you can't, you know, you don't have to remove it. I'm asking for favoritism. I'm asking for, may you please, for this one time, I've been with you for X amount of time. May you please, you know, honor this one time or this many times. If you don't, and you get these letters pulled from all over the internet, or these $20 packages or $10 packages and things like that, make sure that it's really going to benefit you. And if it don't, you really waste $20 or $30. I'm not saying you have to hire someone to get your credit restored. I'm just saying, when you write letters to different creditors, make sure you attach documents to support what happened. The more evidence you attach, the more likely items get removed or things are in your favor. Hi, everyone that's tuning in. Oh, my buddy's on. Hi. Anybody have any questions about that, on why and why not use, you know, or, you know, DIY letters? Again, you have to ask yourself, the person that sold it to you, did they write them themselves? If you're asking for a collection to be removed, how do they know what happened in order for you to get that collection? When you write a letter, again, it should be tailored to your needs. It should be tailored to what, you know, what's going on with you. If you were out, laid off, you were sick, children having a crisis, you know, anything of that nature. My girl's on Miss Bird song, love you to death, baby. Anything of that nature, make sure that if you do sell them, or you do, you know, you ask someone for a kit or something like that, make sure you tell them why you need it. What is the situation behind the letter you're trying to purchase to, you know, write, or write it yourself? The more items you attach, you know, to support why you were late, the more likely the item will get removed. When things are disputed through the credit bureaus, you know, You'll see things that come off, but then you'll see things reappear because the process of the elimination of the items on your credit report. They only do verification. The credit bureaus will never do an investigation. Never. I don't care what nobody says. It's millions and millions of people that's sitting in disputes. If we sit in a 623 or 609, whatever, they're going to use the e-Oscar format, which means they send a 3-digit code to see if it's verify, update, or delete, and then they'll send you the results. They're never going to physically call the creditor. They're never going to physically have your situation looked at personally because the amount of letters that are being sent them. So that's why I use the federal regulator sites like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the Federal Trade Commission in different areas to dispute. Again, some people have luck with the credit bureaus, some people don't. So when you get DIY letters, make sure that the situation itself is tailored to what happened with you. Any questions with that? Excuse me, I'm getting hoarse. Any questions? Make sure you guys like, tag, share. Anybody want to come in and you know, listen to, you know, Credit Tip Tuesday? Anybody have any questions regarding their actual credit reports or any questions about anything besides what we talked about in the beginning? Anything? Come on, guys, it's free. It is free. T Bird song. When you going to return my call, chump? I called you. Any questions, concerns, anything? Are y'all gonna be shy? Is it because y'all hot? I know it's very hot. Very, very hot. Is it on my home page? Let's see. No questions, no questions about credit, no questions about anything y'all want to go over. Anybody's doing self-disputes, anything of that nature. No, it's not on my page, that's why. Okay. Let's see something. Come on, guys, don't be. Thank you. Somebody asked a question. Do collection items drop off after 7 years? No, you possibly have to dispute it to get it off. You know, I've been doing credit, and I've seen people will have items on there 15, 16 years old, and they would not have them removed. They won't remove them. Why? I don't know. I think it's only fair to remove those items. It's a lot of clauses with the 7 years. If you have a bankruptcy, it can stay on for 10 years. If you have different collections, if it's a credit card, it can stay on for longer than 7 years. Absolutely, I will. Collections, 9 out of 10, you have to dispute it due to the time that the item was on your credit report. So that type of, you know, things you send to the creditor and say, hey, listen, this has been on due to the statute of limitations. It's been on for over 7 years. Due to the clauses, I'm requesting a full removal. So that's how you can do that. I will, you know, if I was you, I would dispute it to have you have the item removed, dispute it with the creditors, and then have the creditors send the information to the credit bureaus. How do you stop a credit card offer from going to an older address? Oh, that's a good question. You will have to update your address in the system. You have to update your address probably with the DMV, the credit bureaus, things like that. Normally when you move somewhere and the person that you're renting from or buying from is, you know, they're obligated to like send that to the actual credit bureaus because that's how people will find you, you know, as far as locating your residency. So in order for you to stop it, I will remove the old address off of your actual credit report. that's what I would do. You're welcome, dear. Can you talk about how student loans can affect your credit? Woo! Oh, no, it's horrible. Student loans can affect your credit in many ways. If you have too many of them, it can hurt you as far as your debt to income. If you have, when I say many, I mean a great amount, like 50, 60,000, and you have 50, 60,000 in debt along with your student loans, it can do a lot of harm to your debt to income ratio. If your student loans are in good standings and you have, good reports on your credit, then the way, you keep them is basically paying them off slowly, or, go through some type of forgiveness program if you're eligible. But if your student loans have derogatory remarks on your credit report, look at many factors. One, look at the account number on your credit report. If the account number is the same and you have multiple student loans on your credit report, you need to contact the service provider to get all them grouped in one. It doesn't matter when the monies was dispersed, it's under one account. So for instance, you'll have 10 student loan accounts, same account number, 3 late payments on each one. So instead of you having 3 late payments, it looks as if you have 30 late payments. In all actuality, that's wrong. So you have to look at your credit reports and look at the account number of your student loans. If the account numbers are the same, contact the service provider and ask them to, yes, group them all into one. Because again, if you have 10 accounts with student loans with the same account number with 3 late payments, it looks like you have 30 late payments instead of 3. In all actuality, you only have 3 late payments, not 30. So you have to look at things like that when you're, as far as your student loans. That's so important. Don't allow them to have so many items on your credit report that's showing a negative impact, far as your credit. When I say group, consolidate means you had all of your student loans lumped together. But if you have student loans on your credit report and they have the same account numbers, it doesn't matter if you consolidated or not. It still should be shown on your credit report as one account, not 30 accounts or not 10 accounts. If you have student loans on your credit reports, it doesn't matter the dates of disbursement. You need to look at it and ask them to group it, meaning put them all together as one account. Because when you go to buy a home or go to, apply for credit and things like that, they look at it as more of an abundance of you having all these late payments. In actuality, you only have 3. So have them, call the service provider and say, hey, why do you have the same account number on my credit report 13, 14, or 5, 6, 7 different times? That's not correct. I have one account with you guys with this amount, and it's looked as if I was late 30 times. In actuality, I was only late 3 times. So this is, ways that I get, student loans grouped into one account, because by law, you can't have a repetitive item on the credit report. Even though if the dates of disbursement was different, it's still the same account number. It's technically one account. If it's 9,000, you owe 46,000. You shouldn't have 9,000 on your credit report 10 times and you still owe 46,000. You was only late under that 9,000 account 3 times, not 30 times. So look at that in a series of a repetitiveness, and it looks really bad on your credit report. I hope that helps someone or everyone. Let me see. Sean's off the plantation. yeah, you would definitely have to get them grouped. Should we call or send a letter or work with both? I would definitely call, send a letter, and I will fight it through the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau under student loans, and get you know what is that Department of Education involved. Contact them as well, because you have to remember the IRS owns the student loans. The Department of Education oversees the service providers, Nelnet, Sally Mae, Navient, things like that. So whoever the service provider is, you know, write them and tell them, or dispute it on the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and say, hey, you guys have my account listed multiple times on my credit report. Contact the Department of Education and let them know what they're doing, and then go from there. So you got to hit them at the head. You know, we can't contact the IRS for student loans because, you know, they're never going to get rid of them. However, Department of Education, and, you know, again, go through the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and get these type of items, you know, grouped together as one. Oh, yeah, if you get them grouped as one, all those late payments fall off. All of those late payments will fall off. All of them. So, again, you will see, if you look at your credit report and you have student loans, it'll say you have 20 or 30 late payments. In actuality, the abundance is coming from the way they're reporting on your credit report under the student loans. So, yeah, get them grouped together and get them, yeah, fight the feds with the feds. You know, we can't beat the IRS. We can't beat the IRS. So, again, the Department of Education is the umbrella. The service providers are Nelnet, Navient, Sally Mae, things like that. And, you know, I have some good info on student loans, and I'll share this with you guys because God is telling me to share it with you. If you had a disability while you were in college, ADD, any type of disorder, it's a law that they must honor your disability. If you need longer test taking time, if you need to sit in a quiet area to take a test, or you need, you know, just more assistance or someone to read to you like the test questions. If you had experienced this and you have this type of disability and the school did not honor it, you can get all your loans forgiven. Congress passed a law, 116, that says disability for individuals post-secondary regarding student loans. So, you know, I read a lot, and, you know, when you have a disability, you should be able to be accommodated for anything, especially when you're going to school, college, work, anything. There are laws in place to protect those with disabilities and allow you to, you know, be able to move forward in your career without being, you know, effective in the way that they're not able to accommodate you. By law, they must accommodate you. So you guys, yes, I read that. I'm not able to share the link, but I'm 100% positive that there are laws that are in place if you have issues with test taking, any type of need quiet areas, things like that. Make sure that the school you attended honored your request. If you failed classes, had to do things repeatedly, felt rushed, weren't able to graduate, all those things are so important. If they did not comply, your student loans shall fly. Bad for OJ, but, you know, really it is. So if they did not honor you, please look into it. You can get your student loans totally forgiven because the violations that the school and the inconvenience the school may have caused you while you were attending that institution. So, any questions? Any questions? Any questions with co-signers, repos? We talked about student loans, evictions, how to read your credit report, how to find the numbers. You know, it's kind of early. You know, anything to help you guys start that process that's doing it yourselves as far as building your credit. Excuse me. No questions. Come on, guys. Let me see if I missed any other questions. Get away from me, Latrice. So you book another consultation. I want to, while y'all thinking about asking questions, I want to let y'all know about a group called Black Girls Have Good Credit Too. Ran and overseen by Jasmine Patton. Very phenomenal group. You can get a lot of information within the group, ask questions, things like that. Join the group. Black Girls Have Good Credit Too. Very beneficial. Changed many, many lives. I love being, within the group. I've learned much. I learned so much while being a part of the group, and I'm very honored and humbled. So please, if you guys are doing, credit repair and things like that, make sure you check out Black Girls Have Good Credit Too. Excellent resource. Jasmine Patton is the head honcho in charge. So we have questions. How do you do the math? Call me Teresa, but how is FICO scores calculated? So I go over this pretty often, and I love, this is one of my favorite questions on how FICO scores are calculated. Everyone understands that FICO has a series of, scoring areas, and that's payment history, credit utilization, credit age, overall credit, and mixed credit. So when you want to find out the points that's needed in order to build your credit score, you do the following. Step 1, figure out the desired score you want to be at and subtract it by the current score you're currently at. So for instance, if you have you want a 750 and you have a 650, you subtract 650 minus 750 and you'll get 100. So if you multiply 100 by the 5 components, and that's payment history, credit utilization, credit age, overall credit, and mixed credit, you will find the numbers that's needed to improve your score. It doesn't matter what your score is, this method works tremendously. So you always turn a percent into a decimal, because that's what we do in mathematics. So if you do 100 times 0.35, you'll get an answer. You do 100 times 0.30, you'll get an answer. You do 100 times 0.15, you'll get an answer. 100 times 0.10 and 100 times 0.10. 0.35, is your payment history. 35% of your score is the payment history. 0.30 is 30% of your score is credit utilization. 15% of your score is credit age. 10% is overall credit, and 10% is mixed credit. Once you have those numbers, you then can look at your reports and see where the disputing process shall take place. If you have credit cards with derogatory remarks or credit cards that have balances, you will start there first, because they hold all 5 components. They hold the payment history, they hold the credit utilization, they hold credit age, overall credit, and mixed credit. So that's the beginning stages of learning how to read your report and start the disputing process on how to increase your score. No other way will, help you when it comes to this. Any questions with that? And I have more questions, and I will continue to answer them. Any questions over what I just, went over as far as your actual understanding your score? Okay. How do you establish business credit? Good question. Business credit, you start with net 30s. If you have an EIN, a DUNS number, and that's Dun and Bradstreet, in an article of incorporation, meaning an LLC or S Corp or things like that, you start by using net 30s. Net 30s are like your quills, your U lines, and things like that. order items that will report to Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet is a company that reports your paydex score. A paydex score is the equivalent to a Fico score in personal. It's the paydex score for business, Fico for personal. What I did when I started my business, I can't recall a score too much. I think it was like 680, 690 at the time. The credit cards that I got on my personal, I added them to my business. When I start getting business credit cards, I added myself as an authorized user because I can control my spending. I added them as an authorized user to increase my personal credit score along with increasing my business credit. So I started off small. Get your net 30s. They have Uline, Crown, Quill. They have many areas. Many items that you can establish net 30 accounts to build your credit, your business credit. The most important part about building business credit where people miss the mark is listing on the search engine the search engines like your Googles, Google, Yelp, all those places. You need to be listed in so many places in order to establish business credit. People stop at Google and think that's okay. You need Yelp, business, you have Apple. All these places have listings. Yahoo. You want to make sure you're listed so they can find you. If they can't find you, you might have the articles in corporation, but how are your customers finding you? So they look at the customers or your revenue. So in order to build your business credit, make sure you're listed. It's so important. A lot of people weren't able to get the EIDL loan because of two things: their credit, business credit, personal credit, and they wasn't listed correctly. They must be able to find you. If they can't find you, how are they going to do business with you? So that's one of the most important factors as far as business. Build your business credit, but make sure you're listed. If you're not listed on Google and other places, you're going to miss out. So that's one of the ways to build your business credit. So I hope I was pretty clear with that. Let me see. About eviction removals, I had a hard process, and does it stay on the public record? No. When you remove an eviction, make sure when you go through the process, make sure it gets removed off of LexisNexis. LexisNexis is like the gatekeeper that I always mention, that holds all of your records. You've been arrested, credit, how you spend your money. LexisNexis is one of the biggest computerized databases on the planet, and it knows everything about you. So that is a must. So if you have an eviction on your credit, make sure it's removed from LexisNexis. Any type of housing credit, things like that, you have to make sure it's removed off of all components. So that's why a lot of times when people do credit repair and they go for homes, the items are still on the major credit bureaus, on LexisNexis, CoreLogic, and things like that. You have to make sure it's removed off of all of those bureaus, not just the major 3 or 4. Any other questions? Oh, is it a hard process? How long? Oh, sorry about that. I didn't answer your question. So the process for evictions, it depends on what state you're in. And yes, it is a long process because you need to find out, did the person go to court? Why did you move? Was your safety involved? Things like that. So to write a normal letter to say, hey, eviction is not, on my credit report, it's not being listed properly, it's not the way to go. The way you get evictions removed, you have to figure out, was it safe for you to stay where you were at? Did the landlord or the person you were renting from comply with the regulations of housing? Did you have issues and you reported it and they failed to do so? Did they let you out your lease earlier? There are so many areas many ways that you can get an eviction removed. So you have to know why and attach data to support. If they find out that the landlord was in fault, the eviction gets removed. If not, then, you know, the process, it can take longer. So you always need to write why the violations. Why do you feel as though you shouldn't have had this eviction on your credit? Is it a public record? No, I don't think so. I think foreclosures and short sales are, but I've never known evictions were. And if they are, they must have recently did it, because I never known them to be a public record. Any other questions? Make sure you guys like, tag, share. Y'all not gonna see people that share, right? Like, tag, share, anything. Any other questions, concerns? Let's see. Thank you guys for joining in. It's only 7:36. I'm normally on for an hour. Any other questions, concerns? Thank you. So who's on tonight? This is their first time watching. All right, all of them are my regulars. Any other questions, concerns? This stuff is free, guys. I say this every week. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. Talk to me if you want to talk about, you know, how to get started, you know, as far as your disputing process, or, you know, anything. I'm here to help. I'm here Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to give you as many pointers. Anything I said that was unclear, we can definitely review. You know, we can go over it again if you want to take notes, things like that. I'm here for another 20-something minutes. Sorry about that, I had a call. 20-something minutes, so we can get down in people. Stop that. And have a discussion. I ain't gonna tell y'all, somebody keep calling my phone and I'm having a moment. And I even put it on. Please stop. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I want to do not disturb. This is horrible. It better be a very important person that keep calling me. Sorry about that. Any questions, concerns? I can't believe somebody just keep calling me, and I put it on do not disturb. You're welcome, ladies. You're welcome. Sorry for the interruption. Any other questions? Any other concerns? Anybody want to talk about credit? Anybody don't want to talk about credit? Anything? Let's see. Anything y'all would like for me to discuss? Throw a topic out there. Anything. Let's see here. No. So, Sean, why were you on punishment? Sean's from Black Girls Have Good Credit too, and she's always on punishment. God help her. Credit utilization. Credit utilization is one of the most important ways to build your credit. Credit utilization is almost the only way to build your credit. The better you utilize your credit card, stay between 2 to 9%, the stronger the score. Because credit cards hold all 5 areas of the credit report. It holds the utilization, it holds the payment history, credit age, overall credit, and mixed credit. If a lot of people that have compromised scores do so because of the utilization. If you have bad credit card history, you'll plunge your score. You have good credit card history, you increase the score. It's a known fact mathematically. Credit utilization can either build you or destroy you if not carefully thought through. So the way you know your credit utilization is from the following. It's a actual math equation. The amount that you want to put on your credit card over the utilization that's given, meaning the limit that's given. If you have $300 limit In order to find your utilization, you put the amount. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to put do not disturb. There we go, right there. Sorry about that. You put the amount. You put the amount on that you're going to put on the card over the limit that's on the card. So do not disturb. Are you serious? Sorry about that. Give me 1 second, guys. This is horrible. Again, let me do a recap. Sorry about that. So the way you build your credit, the overall score is through the utilization. So when you want to find your utilization, you put the amount you would like to put on the card over the limit that's given. That's how you will find the utilization of that card. Again, the amount that you would like to put on the card over the limit that's given. So when you do that, you will actually find that the utilization that's going to be on that card. So if you have $50 you would like to put on the card and your credit limit is $300, you'll divide 50 over 300 and you will find the utilization of that card. If you go over the 2 to 9%, it can hurt you a little bit. If you go to 50%, it can hurt you a lot. So the goal is to stay between the 2 and 9%, especially when she's a new card. When the limits are new, I know we all get excited, we all have done this, excuse me, make sure you stay between 2 to 9%. If not, you will hurt your score. So when the credit card walks on the credit report, you need to make sure she's being utilized between the 2 to 9%. Don't go over. I understand we're in a pandemic, but when you're trying to build your score, make sure when you're offered the line of credit, when the card is received, stay between 2 to 9%. Is it better to get your credit report mailed to you, or is it pulling online the same? I mean, when you're disputing, I would never go to freeannualcreditreport.com, because in the disclosure, it says it gives the credit bureaus an additional 15 days. We're already in a pandemic. They're already allotted 60 days. So if you go to freecreditreport.com, you're giving them a total of 75 days to respond back to you. So just make sure I go to Credit Check Total, or I go to Fico and get your credit reports. I wouldn't do free credit report, freeannualreport.com, because they get an additional 15 days, if you look at the disclosure, to come back with the answer or the results. But if you go to Free Credit Check Total or FICO and things like that, the credit bureau don't have the additional 15 days. Remember, we're in COVID. So they already have 60. You'll add them another 15 and it will be equal to 75. So that is something be very, very careful with when you're pulling your reports. Pay the extra $1 and then get rid of it. You're welcome, dear. When you do applications for furniture such as they approve you for a credit line, how can you use it and not hurt your score? Well, a lot of times when you apply for furniture stores like Ashley, Value City, things like that, remember, make sure it's an installment and not a line of credit. So it's a difference. An installment, once you pay it, it's done. With a line of credit, it revolves. So if you're not utilizing that line of credit and it lies dormant, meaning you're not using it, it will plunge your score. So when you apply for things, if you're going to use it on a regular basis, make it revolving. But if you're going to use it one time to either get furniture, a bed, whatever the case may be, make sure it's an installment loan. So once, like for instance, if you get a $2,500 loan, make sure it's not a $2,500 revolving credit. Because again, you don't use Ashley Furniture or different department stores every month. But if you get it as an installment loan, once you pay it off, it's done, it will help your score and not hurt it. So, and make sure you don't have any missed payments. So that is something you have to look at when you apply for things like that. Ask them, is this a line of credit or is this an installment loan? So that's very important. Any other questions, concerns? Anything you guys would like to go over again? I hope the student loans helped. I hope the, evictions, the collections, things like that you guys asked really help you. You're welcome, ladies. Do the best I can. I'm sorry about the interrupted constant phone calls. It was from an unknown number. It was weird, but I put my do not disturb back on. Any questions, concerns about credit, your process, anything? How to go about certain things like that. All right, guys. So I want to give some insight. Anybody that's starting a business need a website. My daughter Denisha Stevenson, she did my website. She's phenomenal. She brings the vision to life. So if you need a website, reach out to her. Her name is Denisha Stevenson. I want to thank you guys for the constant support, the constant love you guys give every week, for tuning in. I thank you for the support. Give a shout out to my team, Will, Solomon, Sean, myself, my daughter Denisha, my marketing team. You guys have been more than a blessing to the company. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you for tuning in from all over. We got Detroit in tonight, Baltimore, my God, Florida. It's just amazing. I'm beyond humble for each and every one of you. I love you all. I started last year, building this business. When I started my credit, I was a 454, guys, 454. So never be ashamed of what you're going through. Never stop doing what you're doing. Make sure you pay attention to your credit every single day. Times are changing. Fico is changing. The more knowledgeable we become, the more dominant we become. The more aware we are about our finances, the less likely we have to depend on government money and things like that. The more we know how to use bank money to build who we are, we don't have to worry about interest rates and things like that. So it's so important. I educate you guys every week. It's a joy. It's a pleasure because I want all of us to win. So important, so important. We have a couple more questions coming in, but I really, really love y'all and appreciate y'all. So it says, after having a charge-off and when asking, can they open a new line of credit for me? Do I pay the debt? Do I have to get it in writing from them first before I pay? If you have a debt on your credit, if it's a credit card, you need to make sure that the actual debt is still with the original creditor. If it's with the collection agency, call and ask them to satisfy the entire debt. You wouldn't ask the credit agency for a new line of credit. You would ask the actual creditor. But before you get to that point, make sure your credit is strong enough to get reestablished with the original creditor. So for instance, if you owe a Capital One, you owe them $1,000, the credit line was only $500, pay the $1,000. Get back good in with them. The bank don't lose money. You pay them now, they'll pay you later, meaning they will extend another line to you. If it's with a collection agency, ask the collection agency to remove the entire trade line off your account. So when they do that, you satisfy the debt, build your credit up, ask to get, reinstated back with the original creditor and start to build a rapport with them. Once you do that for a certain amount of months and never be late, The Fair Credit Reporting Act, there are laws in there that states if someone showed credit worthiness, satisfy the debt, and it's not worded like this, but there are a clause, satisfy the debt, you can no longer report on the credit report negative reporting because they show that they are credit worthy because you extended a new line to them. So be very diligent when I tell people pay off your old credit card debt. It will benefit you in the long run. Let me see. I hope, Brianna, that answered your question, dear. Advice on foreclosure, divorce, been 2 years, debt free, score 735. Should I wait? I would definitely wait another 6 to 8 months or even another year. Your score is strong. Build your score and make sure it's a Fico score all across the board. With a 735 is so important. The foreclosure can bite you if you don't wait. I know it's been 2 years, but make sure everything on the credit report is in strong standards. Look at your closed accounts, open accounts, look at your utilization. Make sure, you know, the payment history on the foreclosure is accurate, things like that. So you have to make sure all your ducks are in order before you go back in. You have a very strong score. Congratulations, that's excellent. But when it comes to, you know, going back into it again, the foreclosure may bite you. The divorce, not much, but that foreclosure can hurt. So make sure all the negative reporting is off. Make sure, I'm talking from everywhere. Make sure that, you know, your utilization is strong, your limits are strong, credit limits, things like that. Make sure your debt to income is between, you know, 1 and 10%, you know. So I will wait, and if you're ready, then go for it. But me personally, I will wait if I had, you know, that on my reports. Any other questions? How do you do balance transfers on credit cards? You're welcome, dear. Balance transfers on credit cards are the best, especially if you have the right credit cards. When you hit certain credit scores, you're offered the Citibanks, Bank of America's, Discovers, Chases, Amexes, and they have an entry rate of 0%, meaning you can transfer balances. If you have balances on cards with higher interest rates and you are awarded these type of cards, make sure you transfer that balance to the 0% cards, because the previous balance that was on the previous credit card that had a higher interest rate, now you owe nothing because you paid that card to 0. You are revolving your card. You're revolving the new card, and now you have between 18 to 24 months to pay off that debt. Balance transfers are the best because this is the way you move money around. And those that have the Amexes, the Citibanks, the Discovers, Chases, and they have this 0% APR introductory rate, move balances to them. Revolve those cards. You have 18 to 24 months to pay off that debt. And if you don't pay it off, move it to another card that has a 0% entry rate, you know. So, I mean, an interest rate for the first 18 to 24 months. So make sure, if you have those cards and you have balances, transfer them over to them. The banks make no money. You want to make a big purchase, you have those big credit limits, transfer it to the 0% interest rate cards. You have 24 months or 18 to 24 months to pay that balance. Give you an example. I made a big purchase. I put it on one card. I have 24 months to pay off this balance. If I don't pay it off, I'll transfer the remaining balance to another card. Then I have another 18 to 24 months to pay off that balance. If I don't pay it off in that time, I can move it to another card. I will have between 18 to 24 months to pay off that balance. when you know how to move your money around with a 0% interest, the banks will never make money. When you go over those 18 to 24 months, then those interest rates will kick in. Good credit cards like that are your Amexes, your Chases. Citibank has a couple good ones. Discover have a couple ones. Not many, but Citibank, Chase, Amex, and Discover have good 0% cards when you get your credit to those levels. And it's beneficial because you don't have to worry about, oh, if I need this, I have to go to the bank to get a loan. You can use your cards. So that's how you can transfer debt from one card to another card. You only can do this if the cards have a 0 intro rate when you transfer the balance between 18 to 24 months. So I hope that helped. Well, you're welcome. Any other questions? You guys like, share. I thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are tuning in. Questions, comments, concerns. Anything. I love y'all so much. Y'all have been a great joy. Y'all are making D.A.L.S Credit Solutions a household name, and I am beyond humbled. And I will see you guys next Tuesday. Again, if you need websites, things like that, reach out to my daughter. Thank you for the constant support. My mentoring team, Black girls have good credit too. I put it on Do Not Disturb and it still rings. I love y'all. My apologies. And you guys have a wonderful day, okay?